ELCAT gets a head start on the next town council meeting. We talk with President Kevin Manley about the upcoming agenda.
Plus, a health update from the East Longmeadow Health Director about important safety information regarding bats. The story ahead.
Also coming up, we have highlights from this week's Rotary Club Summer Concert Series. We'll take a look at the popular Jimmy Buffett tribute band, Changes in Latitudes.
And later, our weekly segment, Library Learning. The library is working hard to get teens and adults more involved in summer programs. Find out what they have to offer.
Those stories and much more ahead on ELCAT News Update. Thanks for tuning in to ELCAT News Update. I'm Rebecca Green.
And I'm Anthony Federici.
We begin the show with a look into the upcoming town council meeting, where two candidates will be interviewed for the interim town manager position. ELCAT talks with town council president Kevin Manley to learn more.
Both of the candidates that we're looking at now for the interim actually want to work full-time, which is great because I think we need it. I'd like the interim to look at or consider hiring our human resources director, at least, to start the human resources process going in the right direction. We've lacked a human resources department in town forever. It's been appropriated and never filled, so it's one of those things that I think is very important, and I don't think that we should be waiting till January to get a permanent town manager. I think that we could post this position so someone that has a background in hiring other sort of executive level positions and working with those people to try and effect the change that we need here in the town. So I think that's really what we're looking for.
After an interim town manager is hired, the extensive search is on for the permanent position. The town council will receive recommendations from the Collins Center, and then a screening committee will narrow down the candidates for final interviews.
Collins Center is from UMass Boston. It's a government consulting group that their actual specialty is in sort of town administrative recruitment, so executive recruitment, I should say. So they do this, quite frankly, all the time. Very impressed with the services that they offer, and for the cost of the town is minimal compared to if we went to a private consultant. So we actually end up saving money and we get a quality product out of it as well. They're going to sit down with every council member individually for about an hour, and they're going to then come up with a composite of what we're looking for a town manager candidate. They're also going to come up with sort of a brochure that tells the candidates that they're going to be that would be interested in applying for the position, certainly what the demographics of the town, sort of town facts, challenges of the position, things that we keep, challenges that we've identified, benefits and so on and so forth. It's actually a really nice, professionally done brochure. In addition to interviewing the counselors to find out what we would like to see in a town manager and sort of what we feel the challenges might be for them and where we're going with it. They're also going to meet with all the department heads. Collectively, I think as a group, they'll meet with all the department heads, have a discussion. Then they're going to meet separately with the police and fire department, because there's some public safety things that they're going to take into account that aren't necessarily, that don't have to be discussed in a group meeting. So they'll meet with them separately. We've recommended also, there's a few members of the community that were unsure whether, I guess they weren't supporters of the charter per se. Now they're sort of come to accept that that's where we are, but we want them to be interviewed as well. And the reason being is it was a recommendation of the Collins Center because they were not in favor of this form of government. Let's hear from them. Now that we have it, what do you want to see in a town manager? What are your qualities that you want to see? Sort of what are the challenges in that? So it's trying to include a large group of people in the process, and citizens, representatives on the council, department heads. We're trying to get as many people included as we can. And then what they do is they're going to take the resumes. They'll receive all the resumes. We will have a screening committee that screens resumes and screens candidates. The screening committee will see all the resumes, and then they will make the determination of who gets forwarded to the full council for for interviews.
Manley talks about another committee for any residents interested in being part of the government change process.
By August 1st of this year, we had to have a bylaw review committee to go in and review all the existing bylaws for the town and sort of how does the charter impact those bylaws and what changes need to be made. And they have 12 months from the establishment of the charter, which is kind of tricky because it's really only 10 months, because now, that was April, now we're in July, so it's going to be 9 or 10 months. It's going to be a lot of work for that committee to undertake because they have to go basically line by line in every bylaw for the town, general bylaws, and look at it and say, how does the charter impact this? There's a lot of members of the Charter Commission who are interested. The charter actually calls for at least 2 of the Charter Commission members to be on the panel, but it calls for a 7-member panel, so if people want to put in for that, it would be great.
The Town Council meeting will be held on July 26th at the Pleasant View Senior Center on North Main Street. Stay tuned for next week as ELCAT will provide a new show focusing only on that Town Council meeting, with highlights from the interviews and the final decision on who will become the town's first interim town manager.
Switching gears to our newest segment, Health Update, where EL Health Director Amy Petrowski provides safety tips and useful information on timely topics. This week, we'll be talking about bats. Petrowski fills us in on everything we need to know about bats, especially during this time of year, and how to play it safe.
This is Amy Petrowski from the East Longmeadow Health Department here with another health update. Today we'll be discussing bat exposure tips. This is the time of year where calls to local health departments increase for bat exposure. The reason for that is we have high temperatures in our attic, so the bats are looking for a cooler place to go. And also new baby bats are just starting to learn to fly, and so they're not as familiar with not entering attics or in through windows. So the reason that the East Longmeadow Health Department is concerned with bats in your home is because bats carry rabies. So they also have very razor sharp teeth, so being bit by them may not always be evident if you were sleeping or if you have a child in the room. So if you suspect that you've been bitten by a bat, please make sure to call the Animal Control Office as soon as possible. So according to Massachusetts Department of Public Health, there are several points to keep in mind if you have a bat in your home. First, don't try to release the bat outside until you rule out any exposure. If you have a bat, you're going to want to call the East Longmeadow Animal Control Officer and at that time he'll ask you a variety of questions to try to gauge the level of exposure that you might have had. Second, do not attempt to hit the bat with a broom or a baseball bat. Keeping the bat's brain intact is the only way that will allow us to test it for rabies. When you call the animal control officer, they will ask you a series of questions, but they will not come to your house to trap the bat for you. So what the Mass Department of Public Health recommends is that first you put on thick leather gloves, and then you use an item like a coffee can to place over the bat. Bats are very small, so if you get right over that, then you'll be able to slide a piece of cardboard underneath and allow you to trap that bat for testing. The final piece of that is to never attempt to trap a bat with bare hands. Something that you can do to help protect yourself and your family is always to remember to keep your domestic animals vaccinated. You may not always know when your domestic animal has been exposed to a bat, so by keeping them up on their rabies, you're much likely to prevent the spread of rabies to your animals. If you know for sure that your animal has been exposed to a bat, DPH asks that you call the Department of Agricultural Resources, Division of Animal Health. The phone number there is 617-626-1810. If you have any other questions on bat safety, please feel free to call the Health Department, 413-525-5400, extension 1105. Thank you.
Now it's time to uncover this week's local star. Congratulations to resident and Rotarian Marcus Bell, who was recently presented with the Honorable Paul Harris Fellow Award, the highest award given by the Rotary Club. Rotary Club Chairman Robert Frater presented the award at a recent Rotary Club concert.
The award is given to a Rotarian or to a non-Rotarian who exemplifies the motto of Rotary, which is service above self. Service above self. And I'm pleased to announce that this award is being given to an individual who is an honorary member of our East Longmeadow Rotary Club, and his name is Marcus Bell. Marcus has been very involved with that Rotary Club concert series over the years, helping the club prepare the band shell and doing anything he was asked to do to make the concert series a success. We are very appreciative of Marcus's efforts on our behalf of our club, and therefore, it is my pleasure and privilege to name Marcus A. Bell a Paul Harris Fellow. Congratulations, Marcus.
Look out for Marcus setting up for the concert series. Speaking of the Rotary Summer Concert Series, let's take a look at the latest show, the popular Jimmy Buffett tribute band, Changes in Latitudes. Nina is on the scene with this wrap-up.
Hey guys, Nina Fazio here at the East Long Meadow High School fields, where residents are eager to experience the ultimate summer beach party. Changes in Latitude is the country's premier tribute show to Jimmy Buffett. The band has been traveling across the country for the past 15 years, providing summer fun memories for all ages. Changes in Latitudes got residents up off their feet with dancing conga lines, passing of beach balls, and flying leis. Residents sing along to the hit songs Margaritaville, Cheeseburger in Paradise, It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere, and many more. Overall, the perfect summer night. Thanks for watching our On the Scene wrap-up. I'm Nina Fazio. Back to you guys.
There are only 2 concerts left. All concerts take place at the East Long Meadow High School fields every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Dan Kane and Friends will be performing on August 3rd, and then on August 10th, Dark Lady. All concerts are free to the public. Make sure to arrive early with blankets and chairs as spots fill quickly. See you there.
There's even more events for residents to look forward to this summer. We're here to remind you about the town's National Night Out. Tuesday, August 2nd marks the night that the towns and neighborhoods around the country come together with public safety to highlight the many ways people work together to shape safe, healthy, and supportive communities. East Long Meadow National Night Out has become a favorite family event in recent years, with lots of free activities, food, and games for children and adults. Co-sponsored by the East Long Meadow Police and Fire Departments with help from ELCAT and Recreation, this year's event will feature 2 amazing demonstrations for the first time. First, a side-by-side burn demonstration showing the dramatic difference in loss from a residential fire with and without sprinklers installed. Then, at approximately 7:30 p.m., the Aerial Pursuit skydiving team will demonstrate their exciting precision skills as they jump from 6,000 feet overhead to the landing area on the high school baseball field. Police Chief Jeffrey DeLessio says the goal is to bring people out for a great family evening. The event kicks off on Tuesday, August 2nd at 5:30 p.m. The Bay State Blood Donor Mobile will be on hand at the St. Michael's end of the high school parking lot. Donors may arrive to give blood starting at 3 o'clock.
Don't forget about weekly events from the East Long Meadow Public Library. On this segment of library learning, we focus on adults and teens. Those 13 years and older, get ready for game night. Game night is a fun way to exercise the mind while enjoying new and familiar faces. Participants will receive raffle tickets for a chance to win the grand prize. The library will provide board games. However, participants are welcome to bring their own and teach others. The program takes place on Wednesday, August 3rd at 5:30 in the library community room. Well, that would do it for us on this edition of ELCAT News Update. Be sure to watch meetings on demand at our ELCAT YouTube channel, ELCAT 01028. Follow us on Facebook and watch us on cable channels 191 and 193.
For cable channel times, make sure to check out our ELCAT program guide, available at the Town Hall, Library, and Senior Center. Also, check your mail as the programs will be delivered monthly within the reminder.
Until next time, I'm Anthony Federici.
And I'm Rebecca Green. Thanks for watching. See you next week.